Hello, ghosties. You're listening to Not My Ghost.
Not my problem. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jen.
Whether you're a skeptic, a true believer, or somewhere in between, join us for a journey into the unknown.
Because remember, when it comes to the paranormal, it may not be our problem.
But it's certainly someone's problem. I would like to take a moment, though, and say to people that have been trying to check out my social media stuff, people that I no longer have contact with, if you have found your way to the podcast, which it wouldn't really be hard to do because it says on my Instagram profile that I'm a co-host of this podcast. Hi, thank you for the download. It helps our algorithm, and I appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Come hang out with us every week because that's the
Every
only
Wednesday.
way. That's the only way that you were going to get the tea about Kelly's life.
That's right. And you probably figured this out that, yeah, I talk about you sometimes.
She does.
Yeah.
So go back and listen to every single episode we've ever done and continue
every
to listen.
One of them.
Because you just never know when we're going to talk about Kelly's awful family.
Because it's actually sweet all the time that you put into me.
It's actually romantic.
Really, it is. Truly.
I think that
Hoodles.
I think that is the second time we've made that joke since that song has come out.
It is a great song.
Fantastic song.
The bridge of father figure makes me think about cutting contact with my family.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I protect the family. Like, this is my family is the family that I have created with my ex-husband, with my boys, and with Nick and the girls. And those are my family, and I protect the family.
She does. I'm in there. I get protected.
Yes. I do have my chosen family.
Yes.
That shows up for me in ways that regular family never would. Because regular family is looking for gossip, and they want a reason to talk, and they want a reason to say, like, did you hear what she said about us? Oh my God. They would never listen to what I've said and self-reflect.
No, of course not.
No.
They could never do anything wrong ever.
And if they're listening, I can hear them right now going, oh, like, you self-reflect. Yeah, bitch. 6 years in therapy, did a lot of it, made a lot of changes. Much better, healthier person now. I'm not bitter towards my family. I love them. I wish the best for them. I just don't understand why they're so interested in what's going on with me. We have no relationship at all. None. So welcome.
Yeah.
Have a seat, pull up, listen to some stories.
Yeah, because we're going to have fun with it.
Yes, we are. Welcome to our scripted, unscripted banter.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Go on.
We're going to make it dark.
Okay. That's fair.
Right. What do you think the worst way to be murdered would be?
Oh, God.
I have an answer. Would you like me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Being skinned alive.
Oh.
Because I feel like it would last a very long time.
Yeah. I feel like that. So my first thought was just anything that would last a long time. Like anything that would take a while. Being skinned alive, being burned to death. Though, let's be real, I probably was burned at the stake in a past life. But
I think we all were.
Yeah. Definitely would be today if things hadn't changed. But yeah, I think anything that's just prolonged. Like something that's just not quick, like being tortured, I think would be awful. I would cave immediately. Like I will let everybody know right now that if I had a secret, not that I have secrets that I think would result in someone wanting to torture me to get them, but if I did and someone tortured me, I would cave almost immediately because I'm a baby when it comes to that.
It would depend on the secret.
I guess
Like, if
I
it
don't
was
have a secret bad enough that I feel like I
no,
couldn't tell
but, like,
somebody.
right now you
Right.
don't, but
Yeah.
so let's say you had, like, for me, let's say I knew something that was, like, crucial to the security of the country.
Yeah.
And somebody was like or to my kids. Like, well, security of the country is security of my kids.
Yeah.
But if somebody was like, "Well, you need to give us this information or we're gonna skin you alive," but the result of giving that information puts my children's lives at risk,
Yeah, I could
skin me
see that.
alive, you know? But
Yeah. Like I said,
if it was
I
like
don't have any secrets like that, nor do I ever really plan to get them, so it's a hard situation to put myself into.
I don't have any secrets like that either, but have you ever found yourself in that
Yeah.
situation?
I
You never
still
know.
think I would probably cave.
Really? You don't have kids, though,
I don't have kids.
so you don't necessarily understand that connection. Of course,
Yeah.
my mother would be like, "Yeah, fuck it, I don't give a shit about her." So, yeah, I definitely think it would be skinned alive.
Yeah, that would be pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Also, it would be awful to just, like, starve to death.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I said, anything that's prolonged.
right. That would be I think starved to death would probably be the well, I don't know because I know that, like, at the end, it's, like, really painful.
Yeah.
Like, you see the pictures of, like, starving children throughout the world, and their bellies are distended. I it's here, it's, like, really painful at that point. Not that
Mhm.
it wouldn't be torturous in the other points, but,
Yeah. Just
um
not fun.
right. Alright, so do we wanna talk about what we're talking about? That didn't make any sense. Do we wanna talk
Do
about
we
what we're
wanna talk
talking
about what
about?
we wanna talk about?
What the fuck? And why do I do this? I point a lot when I'm talking, like, boom, 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 boom. Why do I always do this when I'm talking? Yeah, because like, at the end, I always well, there's a certain line that if I read it, I'm always like, "Boom," and I'm like, "Why? What is wrong with
Think it
bisexual finger guns?"
think again.
I don't know what's going on, but I do this a lot, and I don't know why.
I don't understand it, but it's fine. We're here for it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so do you wanna talk about what we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Alright. In the early morning hours of June 10th, 1912, a quiet home in Villisca, Iowa, became the site of one of the most brutal and perplexing crimes in American history. 8 people, including 6 children, were bludgeoned to death with an axe while they slept. No one heard a scream. No one was ever convicted. Over a century later, the house remains frozen in time, unchanged, unrested, and undeniably active. Paranormal investigators, skeptics, and thrill seekers have all stepped inside its creaking walls, hoping for answers. Most leave with more questions. Some don't stay the whole night. So grab your flashlight, a backup battery, and the kind of courage that only kicks in after midnight, because today we're stepping inside the Villisca Axe Murder House.
This is a case that has always just blown my mind.
I would like to point out that our dear patron Katie, one of the stories that she is supposed to be writing into us is about the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's not a long one, but I keep
Yeah.
telling her it doesn't have to be a long
It
story.
doesn't. We'll read short stories.
Right.
We're fine with those.
Yeah. I did threaten to lock her. She was here yesterday. I did threaten to lock her in the room with the haunted dolls and take all the protection crystals out, but
Yeah, but you didn't.
I didn't because I love her.
Well, she's had a lot of time. You need to you might need to actually follow through on that threat.
I might. She did promise that she was going to send it in this weekend, so we shall
Okay.
see.
Okay, we'll see, we'll see.
We'll love you anyway, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So first I have some facts about Iowa. Possibly, I've said this in other episodes that took place in Iowa. I don't know because
Why does so
I
much
don't
spooky
have the
shit
scripts.
why does so much spooky shit happen in Iowa?
Don't know. There's, somebody that I would like to have as a guest on the podcast, and I know that their stories are straight from Iowa because they grew up in Iowa.
Well,
So,
fingers crossed.
I don't know what it is about Iowa.
Yeah, it's a spooky place.
It is. Okay, fun facts. You can visit the Field of Dreams. I did this. Did you see that?
I did.
Fun facts. Why? What is I'm Italian, guys. I talk with my hands. We should do a whole montage of just the hand movements that I do when I'm talking.
Yeah. That's okay. When we record my episodes, especially on, like, a Saturday, because I am always so, like, conscious of my step count, like, I'll sit down and record, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so behind on steps because it's early," and then I'll be done, and I'll look at my step count, and it'll be, like, 2,000 steps that I did while
Yeah,
recording, and I'm like, "I didn't move, I just talk with my hands too much."
yeah. Definitely helps my step count, makes me get my good noodle sticker.
You are a good noodle.
As I was saying, you can visit the Field of Dreams. Yes, from the 1989 Kevin Costner movie. It's a real place in Dyersville. You can walk the field, tour the houses, or even catch a ghostly game of catch. If you build it, they might actually come.
I
Now,
do
you've
th
probably
I
never
do
seen it,
think
have you?
I do think you said this fact in another episode about Iowa.
Probably, but, you know,
It's fine. We'll
um,
remind people of our facts. No, I've never
this
seen that movie.
my husband went to high school, like, right next to where they filmed
Yeah.
this
You've
movie.
definitely said that. I don't know if it was a fact
Yeah,
or we were just talking about it. I don't remember. It all
I
blends
don't remember
together.
either. No, I don't I can't go back and look at every script.
No, it'd be too
I
hard.
just can't. Okay, Iowa has a grotto built out of crystals, fossils, and petrified wood, which I thought
Ooh,
was really cool. I put a in the, episode notes, I put a picture of the grotto.
awesome. That sounds
So the
cool.
grotto Yeah. The Grotto of Redemption in West Bend is often called the eighth wonder of the world. It's made of over $4 million worth of minerals and stones. And some say it has an energy of its own, which if stones and crystals have energy, if
They
I don't
do.
know,
They do.
if then yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, I wanna go. That sounds cool.
Yeah. The first computer was invented in Iowa. The Attensoff Berry computer, or ABC, built at Iowa State University in the 1930s, was the first electronic digital computer. Haunted TikTok accounts can thank Iowa for their algorithmic ancestry.
Oh,
My husband went to Iowa State University.
okay.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Scary facts. Iowa is home to a haunted asylum that was once called the Insane Hospital for the Criminally Ill. The Independence State Hospital, built in 1873, followed the controversial Kirkbride Plan. If you want to know more about the Kirkbride Plan, go back and listen to our episodes about Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum and Penhurst Asylum because they both were following the Kirkbride Plan as well. So, this was a design used to house thousands of patients with minimal staff. Lobotomies, electric shock therapy, and experimental treatments were performed here. Rumors of underground tunnels and ghostly figures make it one of Iowa's most haunted asylums. Put it on the list.
It's on the list for sure.
Yeah. The Black Angel of Iowa City is said to curse anyone who touches it. Located in Oakland Cemetery, the 8.5-foot tall Black Angel Monument has become the center of multiple urban legends. They say if you kiss the statue, you'll die. I don't know why anybody would do that in a group.
No, I
Me?
would Why would you take that chance?
To well, I'm not even talking about, like, the paranormal aspect of it, just the ew.
Yeah, I've never
It
seen a statue and have been like, "I wanna kiss that." Not once in my life.
no, I don't know why you would kiss a fucking statue. It's
No.
gross, it's germy,
Yeah.
and you also might die.
Right, why would you take that chance?
Right. If you touch it after dark, you'll be cursed. And if you're pregnant and pass between its wings, you'll lose your child.
Oh, no.
The statue has darkened mysteriously over time. So the actual color of the statue is getting darker over time, and that just fuels the myths around this thing. And finally, locals believe the spirit of a burned witch still roams Stony Hollow Road near Burlington. The legend of Lucinda tells of a young woman who was burned as a witch in the 1800s. If you say her name 3 times at the cliff's edge, she'll appear behind you and push. Several local deaths have been attributed to this ghostly revenge. Again, why?
Why?
Just why?
Well, look, I am all for getting haunted and experiencing the paranormal, but if you tell me that there's a chance that I could die, then,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I don't mind being scared.
Yeah, I wouldn't be scared. Like, you can touch
Sure.
me, you can scratch me, sure, like, that's fine. I'm okay with a
You
little
know, it's
bit
funny.
I'm okay with a little physical violence, but as long as
We
I
say
don't
that,
end up dead.
we say that, but, like, I've literally been scratched and was not scared.
Right.
The only time I felt fear was that one room in Penhurst,
Yeah, and in
and it
Edinburgh.
wasn't oh, yeah, Edinburgh, that hallway.
Yeah,
But I also didn't when I was looking down that hallway, I didn't feel afraid necessarily. Like, because I was telling myself I'm going to walk down there,
yeah.
but physically my body would not let me.
Okay.
So and at Penhurst, it wasn't so much fear as it was, "You're not supposed to be in here. You need to leave."
Right.
It was more that get out part of it rather than I'm afraid, I guess. I guess there was some fear more to that than there was Edinburgh. I don't know, it's just very bizarre.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna first of all, I'm not standing at the edge of a cliff anyway because of my
No,
anxiety,
I would probably
and
slip
I'm
and fall.
certainly yeah, I mean, y'all know me, right? Like, literally just yeeted myself off an electric scooter, broke my elbow, sprained my wrist, and cut my forehead open, broke my nose and my chin.
She did. She did. She is not trusted around cliff edges, that's for sure.
Mm-mm, and this was just months after I yeeted myself across Penhurst.
She did. Yep, she did that too.
Yep.
If I don't worry, if I ever go anywhere dangerous with Kelly, like near the edge of a cliff, I will get one of those child leashes and I will put it on her.
I'm heavier than you, be careful, I might pull you off.
You might. I'm more coordinated than you, but I'm also not very coordinated. So if you actually fell off, I probably would go with you, but then we would die together. Oh,
Eh, kismet.
yeah.
I don't know if I used that word right or not.
I don't know. Sounded right. Let's go with it.
Sure.
We're all
I
over
think
the
that's
place
more
today.
we are, guys. I still have not, um, found a new doctor to handle my ADHD.
I'm medicated, so I
Um,
have no excuse.
yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah,
We're just keeping it loose around here, you know.
exactly. Having fun.
But we do have an episode to,
We do.
record,
We
so
do. Let's get to that.
let's get into it. Okay, Villisca, Iowa was a quiet town in 1912, a railroad hub with friendly neighbors, church gatherings, and unlocked doors. The kind of place where nothing truly terrible ever happened until it did, which
Yeah.
is kind of every place.
Yeah.
Like, every place has that first terrible thing that happened.
It does.
Yeah.
There's always that one thing that sparks
Mhm.
other terrible things.
Yeah. On the morning of June 10th, the town awoke to a horror that would define it forever. The Moore family, Josiah, Sarah, and their 4 children, had hosted church services the evening before. 2 visiting girls, Lena and Ina Stillinger, had come for a sleepover. By sunrise, all 8 were dead. They had been murdered in their beds, bludgeoned repeatedly with an axe. The killer used the blunt end, swinging with such force that it left marks in the ceiling. Curtains had been drawn, mirrors covered with clothing, and a piece of meat placed oddly on the floor. No one in the neighborhood heard a thing. I just have a question.
I have so many questions, but go on.
If I'm gonna bludgeon someone with an axe, why would I would use the axe it and,
Right. You have to think that
you
that
know
would be slightly easier. I just have so many questions. Like, and I feel like this happens in any like mass murder situation. Like, I feel like it kind of, I had the similar questions with like Amityville, where all of these people were found dead in their beds, right? But how did they not hear the other murders, like the last couple of people that were murdered? How did they not hear the other murders that were happening and at least get out of bed? Like that
wasn't
makes
it
me think,
theorized wasn't it theorized that in Amityville that some of the bodies were moved back? Like, were
I
shot
think,
somewhere else and then
yeah,
moved
that's possible.
placed back in the bed? Or that could be something else
But
I'm
like,
thinking of.
I almost feel like there's like a drugging that goes along with these types of things, but it never gets talked about. Because if I was especially in this home where there were so many children that were murdered, like, I think about kids, like, if you hear something scary, like, you're gonna get up and hide. Like, most kids aren't gonna just stay in their and maybe 1 or 2, like, you probably have some kids that are just like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull the covers over my head because 'cause I'm scared." But when you have 6 children that were murdered, like, the fact that not a single one of them got up and, like, hid in the closet or under the bed or s eh it just I don't
Also,
understand.
why were the curtains I mean, the curtains drawn, I get, but mirrors covered with clothing? What
Yeah, that's super weird too. That in itself, like the mirrors, I think I've heard other people talk about this when they've covered this true crime case, haunting, whatever you want, both, whatever you want to call it. But like that has so that's like a symbolism of like not wanting to see yourself do it. But the fact that you prepared for that.
I was wondering if, um so I know there's, like, some serial killers will remove the eyes of their victims because they believe that the last thing you see before you die is, like an you that image is, like, in your eyes, so they could like, if I see the murderer's face and then I die, that police would look in my eyes and see the murderer's face and know who it was.
I have heard that too, and that would be so fucking cool if that could
Yeah,
actually happen.
but I don't know if maybe it could be something like that? I don't know, it's a weird and what's with the meat on the floor? Any hoodles, let's get back into this.
So many questions. We could derail this whole episode.
So, Mary Peckham, the Moore's elderly neighbor, first suspected something was wrong when the house remained silent and still. That's back in the day where you knew your neighbors and you were aware of what was going on. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if my neighbors could not leave their house for a month, and as long as I don't smell anything, I'm
yeah,
not thinking something's wrong.
same. I don't
So
see
by the
my
time
neighbors very often.
right, by the time the authorities entered through the back door, they were met with a scene so brutal, even seasoned lawmen reportedly turned away. Each bedroom told the same story: lifeless bodies tucked under the sheets, faces destroyed, A killer's rage scrawled in silence.
And weren't
They
some
were
of them
tucked
in
in.
the same room?
We'll get there.
Okay.
The axe used in the murders belonged to Josiah Moore. It was left behind, partially cleaned, resting in the guest room near the Stillinger girls. There were no signs of forced entry. Doors were locked, clocks had stopped, and every victim believed to have been attacked while sleeping. So the 2 guests were in the same room.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible if you sneak in and you hit one so hard that they die, that you could quickly flip over and hit the other one before they had a chance to react in that room,
I
maybe?
guess.
I don't know. The town spiraled. This wasn't just murder, it was unimaginable to people. And you
Right.
have to think, like, I feel like people have become more brutal with time, and things like this probably were shocking.
Yeah.
It would be shocking now, but now, maybe because they didn't have the news that we have. Maybe that's what the difference is, like, every
Maybe.
day we're hearing of,
Yeah,
this
especially
happened,
now.
this happened, this happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, maybe it's that. 8 lives were taken under one roof in a single night. Panic settled over Villisca. Residents armed themselves. Strangers watched. Doors that never needed locked suddenly were bolted tight. That would be scary
Yeah.
if something like that happened and you had no idea why. It didn't take long for suspicion to spread. Everyone was a suspect, and no one could be trusted. What followed the murders in Villisco was not justice, but confusion, chaos, and a botched investigation that would haunt the town almost as much as the crime itself.
Yeah.
From the beginning, authorities struggled to maintain control. The crime scene was compromised within hours. Locals flooded the house out of curiosity, walking through rooms, touching furniture, and even lifting the sheet covering one of the bodies.
You hear that so frequently in these old cases of how quickly the crime scene gets contaminated. Like, they just things were not the same back then as they are now, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Some people actually took pieces of the house as souvenirs.
That's
Like, they're walking
mm,
out with pieces of the house.
no,
The
I don't
sheer number of oh, god.
I said, I don't like that. I don't like that at
No.
all.
The sheer number of onlookers destroyed whatever chance there may have been at collecting solid evidence. That is suspicious enough in itself. Like, I almost think the first person that was like, "Hey, let's go in here and look around and take things," that was probably the murderer.
Probably. Yeah.
"Let's contaminate this." Yeah. One of the first to raise eyebrows was Frank Jones, a prominent local businessman and a former Iowa state senator. Josiah Moore had once worked for Jones, but left to start a rival business and allegedly took some of Jones's best customers with him. Whispers of financial rivalry and personal resentment made Jones a convenient suspect, though nothing could be proven. He denied involvement and was never formally charged. I mean,
Was anybody? I mean, you'll probably get to that. I guess I shouldn't ask that question.
also, I researched this episode so long ago.
You don't remember.
I don't remember everything. So
That's fair.
then came the most infamous suspect of all, Reverend George Kelly, a traveling preacher with a disturbing history. Kelly had been in Villisca the night of the murders,
You
attending the
had?
same church I was. Yes,
I
in
knew it.
1912.
It was
I'm
you.
old. You thought I look damn good for my
You
age.
you do look damn good. You guys, yeah, you heard it here first. Kelly is the Villisca Axe murderer.
That's it. That's
That's
me.
it. We solved it.
Yep. So Kelly was attending the same church event as the Moores the night
Oh, never
before.
mind. She was you were going to church? It wasn't you.
Well, I don't know. I used to go to church, so maybe back in my early 1912 days, I might
That's
have.
true. Maybe. Maybe
Yeah.
you were still religious then.
Yeah, maybe. Days after the killings, he left town abruptly. Over time, investigators learned he had a record of mental instability, a fixation on sexuality, and a history of sending threatening letters. A fixation on sexuality, what does that mean?
Right.
Like, did he just want sex or was he fixated on, like, other people shouldn't be having it? Or
Yeah,
that's a
there's
very broad term.
it's very
Yeah,
vague.
it is. Most damning of all, he allegedly confessed more than once, but his confessions were inconsistent, and some believed that they had been coerced. Coerced? Coerced. It's a weird word.
That is a weird word.
Coerced. Okay.
Coerced.
Kelly was eventually tried for the murders in 1917, 5 years after the fact. The first trial ended in a hung jury. The second resulted in his acquittal. Despite his odd behavior and disturbing statements, there was no physical evidence tying him to the crime, and he walked free. Beyond those two, theories multiplied. Some suspected a transient killer, a drifter hopping trains and targeting families across the Midwest. In fact, other eerily similar axe murders occurred around the same time in neighboring states. Entire households killed at night, the weapon left behind, mirrors covered. Some believe the Villisca Axe murders were a part of a larger pattern, possibly the work of a single, unidentified serial killer, which makes
What
sense.
year was this? You said 1912, right?
1912? Yeah.
Okay, because I know the Axeman of New Orleans was in, like, the late 19 teens, like 1819.
Hmm.
That's another fascinating case, but I guess we could cover it. I mean, we can do whatever the fuck we want. It's more true crimey, but who the fuck cares?
We should ask We'll ask you guys. Let us
Yeah,
know. Like, would you be okay if we also covered more true crime stuff that's
yeah.
maybe not quite as paranormal, but still
This
like
one, I think
mysteries?
yeah, I think we could tie this one in because there is a lot of mystery of, like, who that person was, and
Right.
there are theories that he was, like, some type of entity or demon or devil or so we could tie that one in for sure.
Okay. There were also rumors of a cover up, suggestions that local elites may have protected one of their own, that the truth was too damaging for Villisca to accept. Over the decades, theories included a vengeful employee, a jealous lover, and even supernatural influence.
Oh, you mean, like, rich people protecting each other so they don't have to go to jail? That doesn't
For doing
happen.
terrible things?
That doesn't happen, Kelly. Rich people are the
I
best.
mean,
They never
it
do
may
anything questionable.
it may have happened back in 1917 or 1912, but I'm sure it doesn't happen
No,
anymore.
never.
No.
If you have a lot of money, then you're just always on the up and up. You're never doing anything wrong ever.
Right.
No.
No.
Why would you? You have a lot of money. It's fine.
Right. But no matter the theory, no suspect was ever definitively tied to the crime. No confessions actually stuck, and no motive could explain the full brutality. The
Yeah.
case remains officially unsolved. Its mystery is buried beneath a century of suspicion, speculation, and silence. What gets me is like if it was like a jealous lover, why'd you kill the kids?
Yeah, I agree.
Just doesn't
And even more so, like, I could even see that more if the kids weren't in bed. Like, if you were going in to kill one of, the couple or the parents or whatever, and then the kids, like, confronted you, then you'd be like, "Oh, I have to cover my tracks so no one knows that I did it." But that's not what
right,
happened. The kids were still in bed. So it
right.
wasn't like they saw the murderer and they were being killed just to be quiet. Like, that was intentional.
Long after the crime scenes were cleared and the last suspect faded from headlines, the Villisca house remained still. Over the decades, the structure itself changed very little. The modest white home on the corner of a gravel road still stands, unassuming at first, but those who've crossed its threshold say it doesn't take long to feel the weight inside. This is a house that does not forget. Paranormal reports began surfacing more frequently in the early 1900s when the home was restored to its 1912 condition. No electricity, no plumbing, just gaslit fixtures and creaking floorboards. Since then, countless investigators, historians, psychics, and skeptics have spent the night, and many leave with stories they can't explain.
So they don't have indoor plumbing?
I don't believe so, no.
So where did the investigators go pee?
I do not know. I
I
know that, like, so when we did the tour at Edinburgh Manor in also in Iowa, so there in the building, there's no plumbing or there's electricity, but there's no plumbing. But they have another structure behind it
okay.
that is like a room where because a lot of people investigate overnight in the winter, and it's
Yeah.
cold in there. So there's a house, like, in the back you can go to. It's got heat, it's
Okay.
got plumbing, it's got, everything you might need.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Maybe that well, because I
maybe
knew that they have a barn at the Villisca Axe
mhm,
House. There's, like, a barn that we've seen on some TV shows of people investigating it, where, like, they hang out when they're not investigating. So maybe the barn has plumbing. I'm
yeah,
just
or
thinking, like,
something.
I want to investigate, and I'm not gonna be able to stay there all night and not pee because and
Same.
you especially. Questionable. I might be able to do it if I, like, don't drink anything all day, but you, no, you can't. I know
No.
you too well. You have to pee too
Yeah,
much.
always have.
Yeah.
I used to drive my uncle nuts when I was a kid because he would take us to the, Orioles games, and I would have to go to the bathroom so much. He was like, "Oh my god, no,
Again. Yeah.
we're missing the entire game."
Yeah.
Okay. Visitors report footsteps. Visitor
I heard that. It almost sounded like someone the door was about to open.
Hello? Come in? I guess I didn't tell everybody what happened yesterday
Oh, no, yeah.
when I was, well, something weird happened yesterday morning that I've told Jen, but I'm not telling anybody else because we're gonna see how this plays out. That particular thing plays out. We're gonna keep that with us, and we're gonna see how things play out. But,
Yeah.
I was downstairs. I was on the phone with my friend Pam.
Oh,
Hi,
and I do
Pam. She listens.
before before you get into that, I do just want to hint a little bit. So, Kelly thinks she received a message, and as someone who is trying to open up more to be more intuitive and to listen, to possibly tap into some possible psychic abilities that she may have, she thinks she received a message in her head about the podcast,
Mhm.
but
But it was really weird.
it was really weird, and we don't know what it means yet. So we're putting it out there, but we don't wanna say it because that could influence things. So we're just gonna see what happens.
Yeah, I've been told that I have abilities,
Yeah,
and I have had things happen. I've known things that I don't know how I've known.
yeah,
Um, but this happened in a way that's different than it wasn't like I didn't know something and then I knew something. This was a completely different
yeah,
experience.
like you
So,
heard a voice in your head say
yeah, that
something.
wasn't mine.
That wasn't hers. Like it was somebody
Mhm,
particular's voice, and they
mhm,
said something about the podcast, and yeah,
mhm.
we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, but later I was downstairs. I was on the phone with my friend Pam. Hi, Pam. She
Hi, Pam.
listens. So everybody was at work except for me and Nick. I'm in the kitchen. I'm making muffins because I had friends coming over yesterday, and I heard Nick come. Well, I didn't hear him walk down the stairs, but I heard him in the like dining room area and over by the laundry room. So I was like, "What? Why are? What are you doing? Like, why are you awake?" Because he was working night, so he should have. This was a time when he definitely should have been sleeping,
Yeah.
and he didn't say anything. So I'm going, "Hello? Hello?"
"Hello?"
So Pam is like, "Are you talking to me?" I'm like, "No, I'm talking to Nick. I listen, guys, I know my house. I know what it sounds like when somebody's walking in those rooms."
Yeah.
And I went upstairs. He's still in bed, sound asleep. No idea what that was about.
Yeah. You got some
And now
weird things going on.
all these noises in here today.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's happening. Um, but again, Jen can see me.
I can. She's not making these well, she's definitely no, sorry. She's not making these noises, but you guys probably also aren't hearing the noises because of the editing software I use is really good at covering up background noises. So I know
Right.
early on you used to hear all of that and now you don't because I got to make my job easier to edit. I'm not paying
Yeah.
anybody unfortunately, so
If there's ever anything big, then we will use an unedited
yeah,
clip of
yeah,
that.
I've done that
Yeah.
before where sometimes something will come through and, like, I'll hear it while we're recording, and then when we talk about it, I will go to the unedited, unenhanced, like, audio of ours, and I will clip that and put it back in because I want you guys to be able to hear it, but when we're having all these noises, like, I think what we've probably heard 4 or 5 different noises, that's too much work for me to go back and
Yeah.
edit, and I could do it, but I'm not.
Yeah. Let's get back to Villisca.
Yeah. Off the rails.
Yeah. I
It's
did kinda go
fine.
off the rails there with the thing that happened yesterday, but,
That's okay.
it would have been great for scripted, unscripted banter, but
It would've, but we
I have
didn't.
ADHD and I just remembered it, so.
Yeah.
So visitors report footsteps pacing across the upper floor when no one is upstairs. Doors open and close on their own. Objects like balls and shoes move without cause, and cold spots appear suddenly, even in the heat of summer. The children's bedrooms are said to be especially active. Disembodied giggles, tiny handprints on fogged windows, and whispered voices caught on digital recorders are some of the most frequently cited experiences. Toys left on the floor have been seen rolling or shifting position, sometimes while guests are watching. Others describe a deep unease in the attic, where some believe the killer may have hidden before the murders. It's a cramped, silent space that seems to push back at anyone who enters.
I don't like
More
that
than
at all, to think that someone was
no,
hiding in the attic before
right.
murdering the entire family. I'm not a fan.
More than one guest has reported dizziness, pressure in the chest, or the overwhelming urge to leave immediately upon stepping into the narrow crawl space. But not all experiences are passive. Several investigators claim to have been scratched, shoved, or even temporarily incapacitated. I read decapitated in my brain, and I was like, temporarily decapitated, but
No, not
that's not accurate.
that didn't happen.
So EVP sessions have captured voices saying names, asking for help, or whispering, "Get out," which is the, like, most common I think you hear about.
Absolutely.
It's weird that they all say "Get out," but
I wanna say, anyone who's listening, if you ever become a ghost and are trying to communicate with people, say something else. Like, you can
yeah,
still tell people to leave, just don't say, "Get out." And if
yeah,
you
say
do wanna
"Leave."
use yeah, leave, or if you do wanna use the words "get out," like, add a fuck in there, like, "Get the fuck out," like, something, make it
Right.
a little more spicy.
Yeah. I mean, give us something.
Yeah.
Boring old "Get out."
Well,
I
yeah,
used to
come on.
think I used to think if I heard something say "Get out," I would leave immediately, but now I'm like, "That's basic.
Yeah, fuck
Stop
you.
being a basic bitch. Fuck you." I'm
Show me why you want me to leave. Like,
yeah.
make me leave. Do something
Make
that's gonna be
make me
scary
want
enough.
to leave. Yeah.
Exactly. Because get out just is like, I'm actually more inclined to leave if you ask nicely.
Right.
Like, if you said, "Please leave," then I'd be like, "You know what? Okay. This ghost is
Yeah.
it's not vibing with me today. I'm gonna leave." But if you
Yeah.
just say, "Get out," that's so basic, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you." Like, I'm
Yeah.
staying.
I agree. There's one account that still shakes even seasoned ghost hunters. The 2014 incident where a paranormal investigator, while staying alone in the house, was found stabbed in the chest under unexplained circumstances.
What?
He he survived, but the event remains unexplained.
How how have I not heard about that?
So, it was reported that it was a self-inflicted wound,
Oh, okay.
but there's still he's never publicly spoke about it, and he stabbed himself and then called 911.
Yeah.
He's never discussed it. I don't know why he would stab himself. Was he trying to make it seem scarier than it was? Um,
Maybe, but or was
was he
something.
under the influence of something
Yeah.
supernatural that
That's
it's hard.
weird.
The owners of the home do not dispute its activity. In fact, they embrace it, obviously,
Yeah.
offering nightly rentals to brave guests and welcoming paranormal teams from across the country. Some arrive skeptics and leave believers. Others come in believing and leave rattled. Whatever presence resides in Villisca, it doesn't perform on command. It chooses its moments. And
Okay.
for those who spend the night, the house tends to leave an impression long after the sun rises. The Villisca Axe Murder House has earned its reputation not just from its tragic history, but from what people claim to experience inside its walls. Guests don't just tour the house, they report being followed through it. Teams of paranormal investigators have traveled across the country to document the home's activity, and they don't leave empty handed. In one chilling session, using a spirit box, investigators recorded what sounded like children's voices whispering numbers and names. One repeated the word six,
Hmm.
another clearly answering Lena, the name of one of the murdered girls.
Oh,
When played back, the voices weren't just faint background noises. They were clear, direct, and intelligent.
that's so weird.
Yeah. On the series Destination Fear, the team spent the night in Villisca and documented dramatic shifts in mood, unexplained cold spots, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. One team member left visibly disturbed, claiming the house seemed to react emotionally, almost like they knew they were there.
They get to on, like, the Ovilus, the word, like, reverend
They did.
when they were asking about the murderer.
They did.
Yeah, which is weird. Just
Mhm.
just a weird thing to come across.
Right. Especially with did they get something else? They might have
I
gotten
think they got 2 things that pointed to the he was a reverend, right?
yeah,
That
Reverend
pointed
George
to
Kelly.
the reverend guy as the possible murderer,
Yeah. I
despite
haven't
him being acquitted.
right, and confessing several times, but
Yeah,
differently each time.
yeah.
On Kindred Spirits, they documented similarly unnerving phenomena.
Phenomena.
Do, 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 including a sudden drop in temperature during an EVP session and what investigators described as disembodied shuffle that moved past them in an otherwise empty hallway. I experience that a lot.
Yeah,
Disembodied shuffling.
that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But some of the most unsettling stories come from guests with no cameras, no crews, just curiosity and reservation.
That'd be us.
Several people,
Well, we'd
yeah,
have cameras, but
we'd have something, yeah.
no crews.
Mm-mm. Several people who have stayed overnight report hearing furniture moving upstairs while the house is empty or heavy footsteps pacing above them, stopping abruptly when they move. One visitor described hearing a girl humming on the second floor, only to find no one was there and no speakers or devices were in the room.
Mm,
She left before sunrise. That is something I would look for.
yeah.
It's like, are there hidden speakers somewhere? Like, the stu if there's
Absolutely.
stuffed animals, like, I'm, like, squeezing them, seeing if there's
Yeah.
anything.
I feel like I would do that in any of those locations like that where they're, like, commonly rented out,
Mhm.
while I'm, like, setting up, because I'm assuming you get there a little bit early. Like, if you rent it out for the night, you probably get there before nightfall to help, like, set up your equipment and stuff. I would
Yeah.
definitely be going room by room and looking and checking for
Yeah,
that
I
type of
agree.
stuff.
Reddit threads and paranormal blogs are filled with personal encounters. Objects moving without cause, whispering voices, the sensation of being touched while lying perfectly still. In one case, a group of friends said they all awoke at different times to see a shadow in the doorway, tall, unmoving, and watching. Perhaps the most disturbing tale came from a solo guest who spent the night alone and claimed to feel someone sit at the foot of the bed, not lie down, sit.
Oh,
The
oh,
pressure
oh.
the pressure was so distinct that they could feel the mattress shift. They described the sensation not as violent, but intentional.
I don't you know me, I don't like that. Just don't bother me when I'm trying to sleep. That's the only thing I ask. I am good. I want to experience all the ghosts, but just leave me alone when I'm sleeping. Not that I would be sleeping there. I feel like if I went there, like I'm
Right,
there.
like,
I'm
why are you sleeping if
investigating.
you only
Yeah.
have right.
That's not a place I would sleep.
Mm-mm, not at all. I know on shows like Destination Fear, they would say, "Oh, it's time to sleep alone," but very rarely did that
Right.
mean
Actually
sleep.
sleep.
There were a couple times some of them would fall out,
Yeah. Well, you have to think too,
but
like when sometimes, especially on Destination Fear, they were doing long ass road trips. So they were doing
yeah,
probably multiple nights in a row, investigating and driving and traveling. And sometimes it's just might take you your body is so tired that it just takes over the fear and you might occasionally fall asleep.
maybe. Yeah. Others speak of psychological effects, such as nausea, migraines, and mood swings. More than a few guests have described breaking down into tears for no reason, especially in the attic or the children's room. Some make it through the night, others don't. Whether these experiences stem from paranormal activity, suggestion, or something in between, one thing is consistent: people leave changed. The house lingers in their thoughts long after the doors lock behind them.
I feel like something pretty big would have to happen to make me leave.
I feel
Like
like that
something
too.
really scary. Not just even activity, like, it would have to, like, scare me. Because I feel like if I just get activity, I'm like, "Let's stay longer and document this."
Right. There are some critics about investigating there. They argue that charging money to sleep where 6 children were murdered turns tragedy into entertainment. I don't know if it's well, I guess if you're doing it for a TV show, it is or a YouTube channel, it is entertainment. Like,
Yeah,
if we stayed there, we would definitely be doing it for the podcast, which
we
is
would.
entertainment.
Yeah.
But I would stay there even if I didn't have a podcast.
I would too, and I mean, I can see that, but it's also I feel like there's a difference between people that are and I'm sure there are people out there that strictly go and investigate these types of places for the entertainment value and what they can get from it, but I feel like a lot of people are just genuinely curious and interested in the paranormal.
Yeah,
So, like, I feel like for us especially, it would be we wanna tell the story. We want to be there and experience it, and yeah, it would be entertainment. Hopefully, you guys would be entertained when we eventually get to investigate it and do an episode on it, but I don't know, I feel like there's a fine line.
well, they have had guests that leave, like, giddy and, like, giggling and laughing as if it was,
Yeah, that's
like a haunted house attraction rather
right.
than but then others, like, it's not about thrill seeking, it is about the connection that they come in reverence,
Yeah,
um, curiosity, or even grief of their own.
yeah,
They ask questions out loud to an empty room and hope for a reply, not from a ghost, but from it's more the history of it.
right.
It's more telling the story of the people rather than just, "Oh, I caught a ghost,"
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. There's that level of respect that you have to give when investigating any place, I mean, because really, if you
Right.
think about it, like, short of investigating a place because somebody died in like, from old age as they were, like, in their sleep, most of these places that have paranormal activity come from some type of tragic event.
Think about it this way. Imagine, like, ghosts were people, okay?
Yeah.
So
Well, most of
imagine
them.
every most of them.
Yeah.
Imagine every day somebody shows up to your house, comes in, whether you want them to or not, sits on the couch and says asks you questions all the "What is your name? What did you do? How did you die?"
Yeah.
Just nonstop questions all day. And as soon as they leave, another person comes in and they go, "What's your name?"
Yeah.
You know? So you do have to approach it with reverence. You
I
do.
agree. I agree.
Okay, so we have, some skeptics,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah, of
For
course.
every whispered voice or shadow caught on camera, there's someone ready to offer another explanation. The line between haunted and historic is thin. Skeptics often point first to the house itself. Built in the 1800s, it's a simple wooden structure, aged and creaking. It expands in the heat, contracts in the cold. Floorboards groan, drafts slip through the unsealed windows, and a shadow on the wall might just be headlights from outside. A whisper in the dark could be the wind.
Yeah.
There's also the power of suggestion. Once you're told that 8 people were murdered in a room you're sleeping in, 6 of them children, your brain shifts. The atmosphere thickens, every creak becomes suspect, and if you're already looking for something to scare you, odds are you'll find it.
Yeah.
Psychologists refer to this as expectation bias. The Villisca House is a masterclass in it. No electricity, dim, gaslit replicas, the same furniture from 1912. Every detail invites you to imagine the worst. And imagination is a powerful force, especially at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Then there's the history of the town itself. Some locals resent the ghost hunting attention, seeking it as an invasion of spectacle. Others see value in the mystery. It keeps people asking questions and remembering the names that might otherwise be forgotten. But either way, the divide remains. On the other side of that line are the believers, and they have no doubt that something lingers in Villisca. Their argument is built not just on personal experience, but on consistency. When dozens of unrelated visitors report similar sensations in the same rooms, nausea, pressure, voices, movement, skeptics chalk it up to group psychology, believers call it a pattern. I can say that if you went back just 30 years ago and people were in Villisca and they were experiencing those same things, I would see that as a pattern. Nowadays, where everything is so readily available, like, "Oh, what do people experience there?" You can Google it, you can watch shows about it. I can see where you could have that suggestion
I
of
agree.
you will experience that
I
stuff.
agree. That's why I'm kind of on the fence when before you go in to investigate a place, like, I feel like you should know the history and know what people are reporting, but then there's a part of me that's like, is it better if you don't?
I think you
Because
should know the history of the location, not
yeah,
necessarily of the activity there.
I kind of agree. But that's hard when you're researching the location, it's hard to, like,
Yeah.
not be exposed to what people experience.
Well, they also point to the emotional intelligence of the activity. The house doesn't always perform. Some visitors experience nothing, others are overwhelmed. It's not random, they say, it's responsive. It knows who's walking through the door. There's
Yeah,
also the emotional weight of the site. It wasn't a battlefield or a prison, it was a home, a safe space, shattered in one night. Some people believe trauma of that magnitude leaves behind a mark, residual energy that doesn't follow the rules, but doesn't fade either.
yeah,
Whether you see Villisca as haunted or simply heavy with grief depends on how you understand presence. Is it a ghost, a memory, or a moment so violent that it repeats itself forever? In the end, the house doesn't need you to believe in order to leave an impression. And maybe that's what's most unsettling. Even if the spirits are gone, the silence they left behind is loud enough to keep you awake.
Yeah, it's definitely a interesting place. I hope one day we get to investigate.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of our episode on the Villisca Axe Murder House, a place where history and horror are forever intertwined. A home once filled with laughter and ordinary life, now etched into the American paranormal landscape as one of its most haunted sites.
And if you loved what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen because your support means the world to us and helps us to continue to produce this spooky content for you.
It does. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Not My Ghost Podcast and on Facebook at Not My Ghost, Not My Problem. We post photos, updates, fun little teaser videos.
Yeah. If you want even more spooky content, please consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/slash not my ghost, not my problem. And you'll get extra episodes, behind the scenes content, monthly lives. There's just all kinds of goodies that you'll get. Discord to chat with us. Please go
Yeah,
join. We we
please.
we need more friends.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had a paranormal encounter that you want to send us, please do at notmyghostpodcast@gmail.com because we're looking for stories for our paranormal postcards episode.
Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the echoes of Villisca. Remember, as you step quietly through old houses with locked doors and unanswered questions, keep this in mind.
If it's not your ghost,
It's not your problem.
until next time, stay spooky.
And stay skeptical.